G'day. There is a fundamental flaw to the SWOT analysis. Do you know what it is? Now, I'm sure you've all heard of the SWOT analysis, S-W-O-T. And SWOT, of course, is an acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And the idea is that it's a business tool that you use to assess really the current state and potentially the future state of your business by identifying your current strengths and weaknesses and also looking at the opportunities and threats that the business has. But there is a fundamental flaw with this tool, and that is that it relies on self-analysis. It's basically you, and hopefully your team, assessing your strengths and your weaknesses. And of course, there's always going to be an inbuilt bias, no matter how hard you try to avoid it. And the number of times I can tell you that I've been involved in projects, both from the hotel side and the spa side, where people have presented their SWOT analysis as basically confirmation that they're on the right track, that everything's under control. And especially if I've come in from outside the environment, outside the organization, it's literally taken me a couple of minutes to find holes in it because I'm looking at it through unbiased eyes. And so my warning to you would be that if you are heading into budget time soon and you're looking at putting together your SWOT analysis, please make sure that you realize that there is always a bias towards overestimating your strengths and opportunities and underestimating your threats and your weaknesses. And I think probably the best way, here's the best way I reckon to avoid it, or at least minimize it. What you do is you get the best person on your team, the smartest person on your team, to represent one or two of your competitors and do a SWOT analysis from their perspective. So they're not part of your team creating your SWOT, they're creating a SWOT on behalf of your competitors. Because then at least they're motivated and focused on that particular goal, on looking at it through different eyes. There's always still going to be the bias, of course, because ultimately they're still on your team. But at least this way, I think you've got more chance of avoiding those inbuilt biases that exist in the SWOT analysis. I would love to know your thoughts on it. Are you a fan of the SWOT? It was all the rage maybe 10 years ago, maybe a bit longer. I haven't heard it spoken about a lot anymore, so I don't know if people are still using it as much as maybe they should, or if they're really thinking about it as much as they should. But I still reckon it's a great tool. It just needs to be done with the realization and the perspective that there is always going to be an internal bias. Let me know what you think. Alrighty, thank you for tuning in. I will be back again tomorrow. See ya.
Think that I'm strong.